The whole notion of sharing in the sharing economy is fundamentally changing the way that we think and we live and do business. The way that consumers, the way that people are able to purchase goods and items on demand using technology, people can have access to the things that they want when they want them, means that we are never going back. This is changing the way that we are living, we are working, we are doing business with people, because consumers now have the ability to have the things that they want when they want them at a price that they can afford, and that's never going to change. The whole idea that consumers are now smart, they're wise, they're making smart decisions that actually benefit themselves, their families, their communities, and also help the planet in the process.
But this whole idea of sharing economy, what does it mean really?
A sharing economy basically is the idea that we can access things rather than owning them. We don't necessarily need to own a car, but we can participate in car sharing. When we need to get somewhere, we just literally pay as we drive. We pay for our usage. That's what we do. We don't need the burden of ownership, but we get all the benefits through access. And that's fundamentally, a sharing economy is about accessing the things that we need when we need them at a price we can afford. And it's fundamentally about this whole idea of being a smart, savvy consumer, of having the things on demand using our mobile phones, through the internet. It's technology-enabled sharing of resource. That's what a sharing economy is. It's about being able to do much more with less and having the life that you want at a price that you can afford. The sharing economy is hugely profitable for large corporations, and the reason why we're seeing large corporations getting involved in the sharing economy is because they are future-proofing their businesses. Businesses can no longer afford to ignore the sharing economy, because now systems are such that consumers can trade with other consumers peer-to-peer. It means that big companies could very easily be cut out of the market altogether. So in order to survive, companies have got choices, and those choices are fundamentally, if they want to stay in business, they're either enabling that sharing economy in some way, or they're in some way involved in it. So we're seeing companies, for example, who are building platforms that are connecting peer-to-peer, that can allowing people to trade with each other. In many ways, something like eBay is the grandfather of all of this. And we're also seeing other companies that are, for example, buying into the sharing economy. Avis purchased Zipcar earlier on this year. We're seeing companies in the US, like Walmart, for example, who are looking at this whole idea of having their customers in store deliver goods to their online customers. So the sharing economy is being used by corporations ultimately to future-proof their businesses, because business is changing, and this is the way we're living. We now have a generation of people who've grown up with sharing. They're sharing through social media, they're sharing their goods, their items, they're accessing the things that they need when they need them. They're car sharing, they're used to being a member of a club rather than owning items that just stand idly by unused. When you think that there are over £3.5 trillion worth of unused goods and resources in the world just idling about, that is a huge business opportunity, and one that smart corporations are already starting to exploit.
We don't have numbers for Portugal, but what about UK?
In the UK, in the last year, adult consumers have earned £4.6 billion by accessing the sharing economy. That is through activities like, for example, peer-to-peer goods exchange and bartering and buying, trading. It's through things like car and ride sharing. Those are the kinds of activities. £4.6 billion worth of earnings, consumer earnings in the UK in the last year, and that is growing. What we do know is that over half of adult consumers in the UK are already engaged in activity in the sharing economy, and a further 28% would do so if it were easy. And fundamentally at Compare and Share, what we do is we build technology that makes it easy for people to be able to share assets. We've built the world's first comparison marketplace of the sharing economy, putting it all into one place, because ultimately, unless we are able to deliver this to the consumer, it's about taking it mainstream. And compareandshare.com ultimately opens up and facilitates the sharing economy in the same way that eBay opened up and facilitated the second-hand goods market.